The greatest mistake people make is believing that confidence comes from outside of themselves. They tie their worth to the approval of others, to applause, to status, or to recognition. But these things are fragile and they can vanish in an instant. If your strength depends on what others think of you, then you are never truly free, for your confidence will rise and fall with their opinions. Real confidence cannot be built on shifting ground. It must be rooted within. When you root confidence within, you no longer live in fear of losing it. You are not shaken when people criticize you, and you are not inflated when people praise you. You remain steady because your worth does not depend on voices outside of you. This kind of confidence is quiet but powerful. It does not need to prove itself because it already knows itself. Just as a mountain stands unmoved by the winds, the one rooted within stands firm no matter what the world brings. The journey inward is what nourishes this strength. It requires self-awareness, the courage to look at your flaws without judgment, and the honesty to accept both your strengths and weaknesses. In this acceptance, you find peace. You no longer waste energy pretending to be what you are not, nor chasing approval to feel whole. By knowing yourself fully, you release the chains of insecurity. This self-knowledge becomes the soil where unshakable confidence grows. You can recognize the difference in those who carry inner rooted confidence. Their presence is calm, their decisions steady, their words simple yet full of weight. They are not desperate to be seen, yet people notice them. They do not need to dominate a room, yet their presence fills it. This is because others sense the stability of someone whose confidence is not borrowed, but owned. True power does not shout, it radiates. To build this kind of confidence, you must turn inward instead of outward. Stop seeking permission from others to feel strong. Stop waiting for the world to recognize you before you recognize yourself. Strength begins when you claim it for yourself, when you decide that no applause is needed to validate your existence. This is the beginning of rooting confidence within. The realization that the deepest source of power is already inside you. Before a single word leaves your mouth, people already feel you. They sense your energy, your confidence, your level of calm, or your doubt and unease. This silent communication is called presence, and it speaks far louder than speech. Words can be rehearsed, but presence cannot be faked. It is the sum of your inner state, your posture, your breathing, and the calmness of your spirit. When presence is strong, people listen before you even begin to speak. Presence is not about forcing attention. It is not about being the loudest in the room or the one who takes up the most space. True presence is effortless. It draws others naturally, without demand, without performance. A person with presence carries themselves with grounded certainty. Their steps are deliberate, their movements unhurried, and their silence carries weight. Such a person does not need to compete for respect. Their being itself commands it. This kind of presence comes from alignment between the inner and outer self. When what you feel inside matches how you express yourself outside, people sense authenticity. There is no mask, no hidden agenda, no contradiction. This harmony makes you trustworthy and magnetic because others feel the stability of your truth. A person without alignment may speak loudly, but their words fall empty. A person with alignment may speak softly, yet their voice echoes with power. Throughout history, the figures most remembered were not always the ones who spoke the most. They were often the ones who embodied silence, with strength whose mere presence could calm chaos or inspire courage. Their power came not from many words, but from their ability to carry depth in stillness. This is the essence of true confidence, not in what is spoken, but in what is silently radiated. To cultivate presence, one must practice awareness in every moment. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with intention. Do not rush to fill silence with noise. Allow silence to serve you. Presence grows when you center yourself, when your body, mind, and spirit are united. The world feels that union, even if nothing is spoken. Presence communicates what words cannot. The reality of your strength, the truth of your confidence, and the power of your being. Many people try to wear confidence as a costume. They copy the gestures, the tone of voice, the expressions of those they admire, hoping to appear strong. But imitation is shallow. It may deceive for a moment, but it collapses the instant life applies pressure. Real confidence cannot be borrowed from others, nor performed like a role. It must be trained, cultivated, and earned through your own discipline. Training confidence is no different than training the body. If you lift weights only in front of others, but never build strength when alone, the illusion quickly fades. In the same way, if you only act confident when the world is watching, your inner foundation remains weak. True confidence is built in the unseen hours. When you challenge your doubts, face your fears, and discipline your mind in silence. What you practice consistently in private becomes unshakable in public. Imitation drains energy because it forces you to constantly maintain a mask. You are always worried about being discovered, always afraid of the mask slipping. But training gives energy because it transforms you from within. The more you practice discipline, whether through self-reflection, controlled action, or steady progress, the less you need to pretend. Confidence becomes natural because it is no longer an act. It is a part of who you are. The one who has trained confidence carries a different energy. They do not need to prove themselves because their strength is already proven through experience. They remain calm when challenged, steady when tested, and grounded when others are shaken. This is not performance. It is authenticity, earned through effort. The difference between imitation and training is the difference between a shadow and substance, between appearance and reality. To train confidence is to commit yourself to daily growth. Every time you rise above hesitation, you train it. Every time you act with discipline despite fear, you strengthen it. Every time you choose truth over pretense, you build it. Slowly, step by step, the training creates a foundation so deep that no challenge can uproot it. Confidence must not be worn like clothing. It must be built into the bones of your being. It is easy to seem confident when life is smooth, when the path is clear, and when everything unfolds according to your plan. In those moments, even false confidence can appear convincing. But the real test comes when challenges rise, when the ground shifts, when uncertainty enters, and when storms begin to strike. This is the moment where illusion is broken and reality is revealed. True confidence is not measured by how you stand in comfort, but by how you endure in struggle. Challenges are not obstacles meant to destroy you. They are mirrors meant to reveal you. They show you the strength you have cultivated, and they expose the gaps you have ignored. If your confidence is only surface deep, the weight of difficulty will crush it. But if your confidence has been built through discipline and truth, the storm does not weaken you. It strengthens you. Each challenge becomes a forge, burning away pretense and sharpening what is real. The storms of life are not punishments but opportunities. They strip away what is false, leaving only what is solid. Every difficulty you face carries within it a lesson. Perhaps it teaches patience when you want to rush, courage when you want to hide, or resilience when you feel like giving up. These lessons carve out depth within you, and the deeper you become, the less easily you are shaken, for your confidence is no longer shallow, it is rooted in experience. The one who avoids all challenge never discovers the strength within. They live only on the surface, where confidence remains fragile and easily broken. But the one who walks through fire, who stands firm in the storm, learns something unshakable. They no longer need to convince themselves they are strong. They know it because they have lived it. Their confidence is not theory, but truth proven in the harshness of reality. Every challenge faced and overcome becomes part of your foundation. Each storm weathered becomes another stone in the ground beneath your feet. Slowly, these experiences create a confidence that no words can describe and no circumstance can break. What once felt like obstacles now feel like teachers, and with each test, you rise more certain, more grounded, and more unshakable in your presence. Many dream of confidence as if it arrives in one great moment, like a sudden flash of lightning that changes everything instantly. But transformation does not come in bursts of magic. It comes through steady, patient steps. Confidence is not an event, it is a process. Every act of courage, every choice of truth, every small victory adds a single stone to the path. Step by step, you walk yourself into strength. The mountain is climbed not in leaps, but in countless steady steps. Rushing the process is dangerous because it builds on weak foundations. If you try to leap too quickly, you may appear confident for a moment, but the weight of real challenges will reveal the cracks. When you accept the discipline of steady progress, however, every step becomes solid beneath your feet. The lessons of one day become the strength of the next. Slowly, layer upon layer, transformation becomes real and permanent. Step by step, growth is often invisible. You may not notice it from day to day, but like a seed buried beneath the earth, change is taking place. The seed does not rush to break through the soil, yet it is growing, rooted deeply where no eye can see. In the same way, every daily choice of discipline, every moment you rise instead of giving in, is silent growth. One day, when life tests you, you will realize the roots of confidence have already been laid. Every step is important, even the small ones that seem insignificant. Choosing to hold your posture when doubt enters. Choosing to speak truth when silence feels safer. Choosing to move forward when fear tells you to stay behind. These are small acts, but together they build something unshakable. Confidence is never built in a single giant leap. It is carved slowly, consistently, until it becomes your natural way of being. Those who commit to the step-by-step process find themselves transformed without even noticing when it happened. The impatient search for shortcuts, but the wise understand that mastery is a path walked, not a prize taken. Confidence built in this way does not fade when circumstances change, because it was not rushed or borrowed. It was grown. And what is grown step by step cannot be uprooted easily, for it has been woven into the very fabric of your character. True confidence is not always loud. It does not need to shout, boast, or constantly prove itself. In fact, the strongest confidence is often carried in silence. Silence is where the mind finds clarity, where the heart finds balance, and where the spirit becomes still. In silence, you are not distracted by the noise of the world, and you are not dependent on the approval of others. You return to yourself, and it is in this return that confidence takes its deepest root. When you sit in silence, you face yourself without escape. There are no voices to distract you, no crowd to affirm you, no performance to hide behind. In silence, your fears rise, your doubts appear, and your insecurities speak. But instead of running, you learn to observe them, to understand them, and eventually to let them pass. This practice creates a confidence that does not fear inner noise because you have already faced it in stillness. Silence teaches control over impulse. The one who cannot remain quiet often acts from insecurity, always rushing to fill the space with words or actions to cover their discomfort. But the one who has trained in silence learns patience, restraint, and presence. Their confidence does not depend on immediate reaction. It rests in the calm awareness that strength does not always need to announce itself. This calmness becomes a quiet power that others can feel even without words. There is also a silence in action, not just in sound. To move without unnecessary noise, to act without seeking recognition, to accomplish without demanding attention. This is the silence of mastery. It is not weakness, it is focus. When you learn to work in silence, you become less concerned with external validation and more aligned with internal growth. The world begins to notice, not because you ask it to, but because your quiet consistency speaks louder than noise ever could. Through silence, you realize that confidence is not about being seen, but about being unshaken. A calm presence, steady breathing, and composed action carry far greater weight than empty words. In the stillness, you gather strength, and when you step back into the world, you carry with you an energy that does not need to be explained. Silence strengthens confidence because it teaches you that your power is not in display, it is in depth. Many mistake confidence for arrogance. They believe confidence is about elevating oneself above others, about being louder, stronger, or more dominant. But this is only ego wearing the mask of strength. True confidence is not concerned with self-glorification. It is rooted in purpose. It is the quiet assurance that you have something valuable to contribute, not for your own pride, but for the betterment of others. When confidence transforms into service, it ceases to be fragile because it is no longer about you alone. Confidence that serves others is unshakable because it is grounded in meaning. If you speak to inspire, act to uplift, or lead to guide, your confidence is not dependent on applause or recognition. You are not seeking to fill an emptiness within. You are using your strength to fill the needs around you. Ego collapses when it is ignored, but service grows stronger when it is tested. In this way, true confidence carries a dignity that arrogance can never possess. When you begin to see confidence as service, your presence changes. People no longer feel your strength as a threat, but as a source of support. Your words carry weight not because they demand attention, but because they resonate with truth. Your actions inspire not because they showcase power, but because they reveal sincerity. This is the kind of confidence that others trust. It does not push people down, it lifts them up. Ego needs to be fed. It constantly seeks validation. Service, on the other hand, is self-sustaining. When your confidence is tied to serving a purpose beyond yourself, it cannot be easily shaken by criticism or rejection. Whether others praise you or not, You remain steady because your reason for acting is not rooted in personal pride, but in contribution. This creates a quiet strength, a type of confidence that cannot be taken away by circumstance. Confidence in service also teaches humility. You recognize that your strength is not yours to hoard, but yours to use wisely. The truly confident do not need to announce their greatness. They allow their actions to serve as proof. They know that every ability, every insight, and every act of courage becomes more meaningful when it is shared. And in this act of giving, confidence becomes something far greater than self-belief. It becomes a force that transforms those around you. Confidence is not something you acquire once and keep forever. It is not a trophy to place on a shelf, untouched and unchanged. Confidence is alive. It must be nurtured, exercised, and disciplined throughout life. Just as the body weakens without movement, confidence fades without practice. To sustain it, you must continue to train your mind, your spirit, and your actions, treating confidence as a lifelong discipline rather than a short-term achievement. Every season of life brings new challenges, and with each challenge, confidence must adapt. The courage you built yesterday may not be enough for tomorrow's storms. This is why discipline matters. It keeps you prepared, steady, and capable of meeting whatever comes. Discipline keeps you from becoming complacent, reminding you that growth never ends. Through continuous practice, confidence matures, deepens, and becomes more unshakable with time. Lifelong discipline also means returning to the basics again and again. Many people abandon the simple practices once they feel strong, forgetting that those very practices are the foundation of their strength. Breathing with awareness, holding your posture, keeping promises to yourself, acting with integrity. These small disciplines may appear ordinary, but they are what keep confidence alive. To neglect them is to weaken the roots of the tree you have grown. Treating confidence as discipline also protects you against arrogance. The disciplined know that confidence is never complete. There is always more to refine, more to learn, more to embody. This humility keeps the heart open, keeps the mind sharp, and keeps the spirit steady. Discipline is what transforms confidence from something temporary into something enduring, something that cannot be easily shaken by time or circumstance. Through discipline, confidence becomes less about a feeling and more about a way of living. It becomes embedded in your daily actions, your habits, your choices, and your responses. You no longer wait to feel confident. You practice confidence in how you walk, how you speak, how you think, and how you serve. Over time, this disciplined practice shapes you into someone who does not merely have confidence, but someone who embodies it fully,